late last week. A report out of South Florida, the South Florida Sun-Sentinel, Dave Hyde, says that the Dolphins had a 5-year deal all ready to give to Sean Payton at $20 million a year. Albert Breer, our friend from Sports Illustrated, said actually it was 100 over 4. And I thought of you because you've been banging the drum quite a bit about the Brady Sean Payton package deal to Miami. Are we, certainly since Brady was asked about it at his press availability last week and about any contact with Miami, and he didn't deny it. He said, I talked to a lot of people. So what do you make of all of this right now?
I wasn't surprised by the reporting, Rich, because I can tell you with 100% certainty, I'm not even going to leave any wiggle room in here based upon the people I've talked to over the past 3 months plus. It was a done deal. And this is how the sausage gets made in the NFL. It's all pre-made, and then the process plays out, right? The deals are in place. Everything's done. And then the dominoes are going to fall in a very orchestrated way. Week of the Super Bowl, Tom Brady is announced as a minority owner of the Dolphins. Thereafter, Sean Payton is acquired by the Dolphins to culminate their coaching search. Trade with the Saints. First-round pick goes to the Saints. Sean Payton goes to the Dolphins. At some point thereafter, after the Buccaneers have found a quarterback to replace Tom Brady decides he's not just going to partially own the Dolphins, he's going to play for the Dolphins. That was all in place. It was all happening. Brian Flores files his lawsuit February 1, the same day Tom Brady announced his retirement, and the plug gets pulled. But it was happening. And the league has to be nervous about this story because it shows that multiple rules and policies get disregarded all the time, whether it's tampering, whether it's the Rooney Rule. You're going to make your decisions and come up with your plan, and then everything else is done for show to create the impression that there was compliance with these rules. And look, hey, Rich, we speculated yesterday on why ESPN and NFL Network didn't jump on this thing. It's very difficult for the league-owned network. And I know I'm talking to a guy who is one of the primary faces and voices of the league-owned network, but let's face it. You can't have Ian Rappaport on NFL Network saying, hey, by the way, the Saints and the Dolphins had a deal that violates, 6 or 7 different policies, and the only reason it didn't happen is because Brian Flores filed a lawsuit against the league, and it wouldn't be good for the league's defense of that lawsuit if they went forward with it. It's probably not very good for the league's defense of the lawsuit for me to be even talking about it.
Well, I mean, so Flores' lawsuit blew it up because they couldn't hire another coach right away? Is that like why would Flores' lawsuit, what is the connective tissue as to Flores' lawsuit blowing it up?
I think it was just, boy, we got to press the panic button on this. We can't do this because Flores' lawsuit talks about tampering with a high-profile quarterback who was Brady, obviously. Bruce Beal, the right-hand man to Stephen Ross, is the connection back to Tom Brady. Bruce Beal was going to facilitate the meeting between Brady and Brian Flores when Stephen Ross wanted Flores to meet with him, and that's in the lawsuit. You've got allegations of racial bias in the lawsuit, so we're going to trade for a prominent white coach and pay him $20 to $25 million a year. Can't do that either. Everything just got rolled up into a ball at that point and thrown aside. It was happening but for that lawsuit. And next level cynicism is Brian Flores maybe filed that lawsuit when he did to keep it from happening, because I remember thinking, why are you filing the lawsuit before the Texans make their hire and before the Dolphins make their hire? The Texans, I think, would have hired Josh McCown. Makes your case stronger. The Dolphins go forward with this Sean Payton trade, and there's a paper trail that it was all done in advance in violation of the spirit of the Rooney Rule. That makes your case stronger, too. I don't know. Maybe he gave the green light to go ahead and file the lawsuit just to keep Stephen Ross from getting the guys he wanted.
Well, and is it what? Before I let you go, it's in your book, I believe. Sean Payton was going to be the next coach of the Dallas Cowboys as far back as 2019.
Done deal.
But why is Anthony Davis, the basketball player, the star Anthony Davis, involved in this? How does he play into that?
Mickey Loomis was the VP of basketball operations for the Pelicans at the time. Mickey Loomis has been the GM of the Saints for years. The deal was done, all set up ahead of time. You get the ducks in a row ahead of time, and then Jerry Jones fires Jason Garrett. Then Jerry Jones engages in a search for a coach that complies with the letter and the spirit of the Rooney Rule. And then at the end of the day, let's just trade for Sean Payton. That was how it was going to play out. But just as they were getting ready to implement the plan, Anthony Davis says, I want out of New Orleans. And Mickey Loomis tells Sean Payton at that point, I can't be the common thread between two of these New Orleans icons leaving. I can't be responsible for that, so we just can't do it. And that ended it in 2019. And that's why everybody's watching the Cowboys now going forward. Payton's going to be the hottest name on the coaching carousel next year. And there's already been talk of the Panthers. I think the Cowboys will be in play. And, there's a way that the planets line up where it's a team that needs a quarterback and a coach, and maybe this Brady and Payton thing happens after all somewhere else.
Do I at least get Florio credit for bringing this story up on the Rich Eisen Show, even though I am the face and voice of the NFL Network? Do I at least get some?
You understand where I'm coming from the news gathering standpoint, pushing that story forward, working on that story that potentially creates all sorts of problems for 345. You can't do it. You just can't do it.
Well,
the news gathering people can't do it.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how if I've got a red light on my voicemail when I hang up from you.
It's funny. I had a phone call yesterday from the main switchboard at 345 Park Avenue. I missed the call. I've never gotten that call before. I have no idea who was on the other end of that call. Because anybody else in the league office who wants to find me has like cell phones and email.
Sure.
I'm still very curious.
I don't know.
Who from 345
maybe
the main switchboard was trying to track me down.
Maybe that's why Roger asked me for your phone number. I don't know. Check it out.